We are about to go grab our next segment here, and that is Headlines Across Africa. And Mame is ready for that. Stay with us.
Headlines across Africa.
Headlines across Africa.
Headlines across Africa.
Headlines across Africa.
All right.
Okay, so today we are reading headlines from Mauritania, South Sudan, and then Western Sahara.
Okay. What's the headline looking like?
Okay, so we are reading from Western Sahara,
Okay.
the Sahrawi
Okay.
net,
Right.
and the headline reads: The African Peace and Security Council begins its actions on the Saharan issue
Mm-hmm.
after it retrieves the file.
Right.
So, the Peace and Security Council of the African Union began its actions regarding the conflicts in Western Sahara
Okay.
after it regained this file that it had been absent from for a few years.
Right.
As it is scheduled to organize during the coming days a summit to discuss the latest developments in the region and ways to revive the debate in order to reach a solution that enables the people of Sahrawi have the alienable right to self-determination.
Okay.
The Commissioner for Peace and Security in the African Union, Ismail Shaki, announced during an interview with the national radio that, based on the output of the last African summit,
Okay.
the Council will hold a summit on the subject at a time, and the Troika may meet during the next few days to come up with ideas and suggestions.
Okay.
This decision came as an explicit response to the attempts of Morocco, which, since its accession to the Continental Organization in 2017,
Right.
sought to disrupt the West Sahara issue and tried hard to exclude the African Union from the file in favor of the UN Security Council. Western Sahara is the last colony in Africa occupied by Morocco since 1975, and it is the subject of the United Nations General Assembly as a matter of decolonization. But we're always talking about independence and how the whites came and colonized us, and I don't know why Morocco is doing the same to Western Sahara.
Yeah, it used to be part of Morocco actually, till they actually, they actually decided to make their own, an independent territory. But it seems Morocco is
It
not
seems
letting
Morocco is
go.
not letting go. Morocco
Yeah,
doesn't want to
I
let
mean,
go of the
for some
reins.
time now, some of the news items coming from that particular part has to do with the struggle still trying to get themselves
Free from
liberated
Morocco,
from
yeah.
Morocco. And but I wonder what's going on if South Sudan is actually able to carve itself from Sudan. I think
Why is
Eritrea did.
Morocco?
It's not a new thing, unless there's a personal interest there. But even with South Sudan's case, that's where that's the oil region, the southern parts, and kind of like they take it, and then its development is actually happening in the northern parts and leaving the southern parts. So now we want development, so we are cutting ourselves out, and then they finally succeeded. Okay, so I wonder what's the issue is all about, unless there's something that it's not known to the public.
Well, according to the story,
Right.
the Morocco was keeping a file away from the AU to protect the UN in some ways.
To protect the UN.
Yes, so they have
Wow.
retrieved the file and they're hoping to start
Mm.
sitting on the Peace and Security Council, the African Peace and Security Council,
Right.
will begin its actions on the Saharan issue because now
This
it
is
has
interesting.
retrieved the file.
I wonder who is hiding.
Yeah, so the Korean line says they tried hard to exclude the African Union from the file in favor of the UN Security Council. So
That's-
what are they hiding?
What are they hiding? That's what I'm saying. I wonder whoever is hiding it. Why is
Comes
he
to
hiding?
light,
Exactly.
because,
what,
if
what that would be like.
If
But
people want to break away from a country, they
allow
have their
them.
reasons for wanting to
yeah,
break away.
and it's not an easy thing breaking away from a country because you're coming to start from scratch. So allow them go start from scratch and bear the. It's more like you're bearing a consequence and you're taking it upon yourself
to take care of
from
business.
exactly.
Yes.
I want to be independent, so just like your father said, you not leave my house again. You stay here till you die. Like how, Dad? I want to go and live my independent life. So, no, you are staying here. I know. But then we will, keep on monitoring and bringing you updates from Western Sahara. Okay.
Yeah, then we're reading from South Sudan,
Mhm.
and the headline reads: A glimmer of hope for South Sudan's victims. So, after
Okay.
years of relative silence, South Sudan's government has finally given approval to establish accountability mechanisms to address the country's conflict, including a war crimes court in partnership with the African Union.
Right.
This could represent an important step to bring justice closer to victims and survivors
Mm-hmm.
who have suffered brutal crimes with impunity for far too long.
Right.
However, swift and concrete action is needed to operationalize these mechanisms.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a good thing. I think
Very.
something like that happened in Ghana. They called it something court that they used to show on TV. I
What
don't remember the name.
was it? More of was it a stage thing or like
No,
a
it was
reality
a
thing?
reality thing
Oh,
where
really?
people who suffered during Rawlins's era.
Oh.
I've forgotten I don't know why I don't remember the name.
Mm.
But they used to show it on GTV.
Okay. They come talk about their cases and
Like
they
they
get
come, you sit a panel sits, a
Okay.
council or whatever it is. Then you
Right.
can't present your case.
okay.
And if something can be done,
Mhm.
they do it.
Okay.
I think it's just like this because here they're establishing a court in partnership with the African Union
Okay.
where people who have suffered, victims and survivors have suffered brutal crimes and impunity for far too long,
Right.
come to present their cases.
But that's good.
That's
At
good
least you get
because
some
I mean,
form of
war happen, things happen in a country, and then victims, survivors,
lost
nobody
their lives,
gets
properties
closure,
and what have
properties and
you.
all of that.
Yeah.
I'm
At least
really
some
trying to
compensation
remember the name.
could, even though it might not erase the pain and, loss, but sometimes it
A
would
little
give
compensation
you
will
a
go a long
starting,
way because I
another
mean,
life.
when former President Rawlings died, then we had people talk about how their grandfathers' companies were seized
Yeah.
and how some people lost their lives
Yeah.
and all of
Properties
that.
and what
yeah.
have you. Well, yeah. Okay.
So we're
that's good.
finally reading from Mauritania,
Okay.
and we're reading from the SaharaMedias.net.
Sahara Media.
And the headline reads: Mauritania decree amending the list of fixed price products.
Okay. I love that.
So the Mauritanian government has approved a draft decree defining the list of products and services subject to price controls.
Good.
According to a statement issued by the Council of Ministers, a new draft decree constitutes a legal consolidation of the measures taken by the public authorities in order to find suitable solutions to the high prices of some basic foodstuffs widely consumed in the national markets.
Right.
The Minister of Trade and Tourism, Al Nahar Bint Meknes, said during the press conference to comment on the results of the cabinet meeting, "We cannot violate competition rules and World Trade Organization's agreements, but as a government, it is our duty to stand in the face of unjustified speculation." The Mauritanian markets had witnessed during the past weeks a big increase in the prices of some foodstuffs because the government reached an agreement with suppliers to reduce some food prices. I think this is good.
Very.
Because we live in a world where people will inflate prices to suit their pockets.
And the part that actually boggles me is when you get into a market space and then you find a particular product. Seller A gives you his price. Seller B
Seller
gives
B
you
has a
his
different
price. Yeah.
price.
Seller C.
Seller C, I mean,
This is a great initiative.
this is a great initiative.
It would help the citizens because not everybody can purchase the price that you've actually put on your products.
A
you know?
perfect example is renting a car.
Oh yeah. When you talk about it, they go like, "Did the government put money in my pocket to buy a cement?"
But
I think it's not fair. People are being exploited. It's very, very bad. And we have the rent and control, what do you call it, commission that to regulate these prices, and it's not happening. I wonder, God, you know what?
I think this is an initiative every government should follow.
Well, the current government talked about it in the manifesto that they were going to support people to. And see, that's the problem because when you say you're going to support people to pay that,
then you're not actually addressing
the problem. Because it's at the end of the day, this should be you give a range. If it's a single chamber, you take this. If it's a double with everything furnished in it, you take from this to that. But then no. You are saying you're going to, so they can keep increasing while you keep supporting. That doesn't end, because at the end of the day, you cannot help everybody.
Yeah, you cannot.
You cannot help everybody. It is only those people who get access, look, and you know the number of people out there who are looking for help.
So I mean, what the government should do is take the example.
Do you know
of
what
the
when I
Minister of
just said
Trade
looking
and
for help? Do you know the
Tourism
name
in
that popped up in
Mauritania.
my head?
Who?
Barry.
Yeah, I think
No,
the
but it's a
problem
serious
is
problem.
with regulating the price.
Yeah,
So instead
yeah.
of saying they're going to
Yeah,
support, they should actually address the problem.
I think
which is
government should. I mean,
regulating the
every government should
price.
take it upon themselves to actually look at key places where people get exploited: rents, markets,
Food.
commodities, food, hospitals, and everything. A
Yeah.
private hospital just gives you. I mean, because they feel the government spaces don't have this particular,
So you go there and then you're
equipment or
paying a lot
service,
of
and you go
money.
pay something. Oh dear, God help us all. Okay, that's all we have.
Yeah.
Great.